Hello, and welcome to another edition of All or Not According to Jack with your host, Jack Toledano. And for the first time on the top three metal albums by year, I have a guest, Ove Rendum, direct from Norway. How you doing, Ove?
I'm doing pretty good, sir. This is going to be fun.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. So when I started the series, maybe a month or two back, Ove liked it, and he asked me if he could participate once in a while. So I'm like, sure, the more the merrier. The only thing I have to do is when I put my albums up, I have to make them a little bigger because now I'm half screen, but that's cool. I already
Yeah.
did the prep work, so we're all ready to go. But
Yeah.
so the format is that I talk about each album and I put them up. So instead, since I have Ove on, what we're going to do is we're going to go back and forth and talk about our top three albums of 1989. A good year for metal, but very
Yep.
interesting year. And I had to really dig deep to find a few, but I did, and I love them. And off we go. So go ahead,
I
Ove.
suspected so much.
Give us your first.
All right. So my first album of '89 is actually an American band, Morbid Angel.
Morbid Angel. Okay.
Yeah. With Altars of Madness.
Very cool.
Yeah. It came out in '89. It's on Eric Records from UK. Eric. Like
So
Eric.
what type of metal are they?
They are death metal.
Wow, death metal was out that early, eh? Very cool.
Yeah. This is a legendary album in the death metal scene. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. You just gotta hear it because it's so good.
Hmm.
It's like you have immortal rights. It just smacks you right over the mouth and just gets you going. And then it proceeds with suffocation that just give you a straight up uppercut. And then you have visions from the dark side, mass of torment, Chapel of Ghouls, which is their most famous song, really. It has like a ghostly, like haunting kind of atmospheric electronic uh, sample on it that goes over it. It's really something else. And then you got Bleed for the Devil, Damnation, Blasphemy, and Evil Spells. It's a fantastic album,
Okay.
start to finish.
Wow, very cool. That's very nice. Okay. So mine, and this is a band that I have mentioned a few times on this particular series that we're doing. We'll get right into it, and I will pull them up on the screen.
I'm excited.
These guys.
Oh, nice.
Metal
Nice pick.
Church. Yes, we had them, I believe, last year let's see. Let's just go back in the archives. Oh no. I had
86 is not After Dark.
1986 I had them, the album The Dark. But this album has so they changed singers. I forget his name. I'm just going back. I forget
It's the only Metal Church album I own.
Yeah,
I got it back in the 90s. It's fantastic, start to finish.
yeah. I forget his name, but we now have a new singer. Mike Howe is the new singer of Metal Church at this point, and you know what? They didn't. There was no letdown. They were still equally great. You have songs like Fake Healer, Rest in Pieces, of Unsound Mind, which I love, Badlands, which is probably the first song by Metal Church that I ever heard. So I don't know about in Norway, but here in the States, we have Sirius XM radio, and we have on channel 39, Ozzy's Boneyard. And that's how I actually got introduced to Metal Church, with the song Badlands. So, but we'll talk more about Metal Church when we get to my third album, but great band. Another song, The Spell Can't Be Broken, amazing. The Powers That Be, so really kicks ass. You know, they didn't miss a stride from their previous two albums. So it's Metal Church it is.
Yeah, fantastic album. I agree.
Okay,
Excellent pick.
Thank you. So what's your second?
My second one, I'm going to come to this side of the pond. It's the second album of the band. I'm friends actually with the vocalist on Facebook, and it's Bolt Thrower with
interesting.
the
Wow.
realm. Yeah, the Realm of Chaos.
Very cool. Very nice.
Yeah.
So what could you tell us about that album?
It's death metal, and they have focus on war. They are I call it war metal, but it's death metal, and it starts off with like ancient kind of like heavy machinery kind of repeating sound. It gets you in the mode, and it is like it's a short intro. They talk a little, and it blasts you right in the face with eternal war, and then goes straight into Through the Eyes of Terror. Then we hit into the Dark Millennium. Then we get a little slower, bigger piece called All That Remains. Another one that's kind of slow and heavy called Lost Souls Domain.
I just love that band name, Bolt Thrower. It's the coolest thing, yeah.
And then you got another one I picked too called Plague Bearer.
Right.
And then you got one of the hits of the album, or hits should say, called World Eater. And then Drown in Torment. Then you have the title track, Realm of Chaos, Slaves to Darkness. And then you got the outro, pretty much as the intro is kind of like it's a journey. It's a fantastic album. It was their breakthrough.
I love the artwork. Yeah, that's really cool.
Oh, this is the newer artwork. They use a Warhammer. You know the Warhammer, the like the role playing game Warhammer 40,000. Yeah, they used that as an inspiration. Originally on this album, this is a reprint, but originally it came with like 40 pages of like a storytell kind of thing with a bunch of inspired pictures.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
So I guess you can't find that print any longer. That a rarity?
Well, you have to be on go on secondhand stores or on eBay. I don't have it on original because you want to get it complete with like the inlay and the kind of not cartoon but the pictures and stuff. So it's quite spendy.
Okay.
But it's possible to get it if you go in the right places.
Okay, good to know. Very cool. So while you were talking about Bolt Thrower, I was doing a little research on the internet because I had a brain freeze. I forgot what Metal Church's first singer was. His name is David Wayne, not to be confused with the David Wayne that was guest starred on the old Batman series as the Mad Hatter. Yeah, same name. Good. But like I said, they didn't miss a stride. So in any event, this may be a little surprise for you. So I had to dig deep into the annals of 1989 for all the albums that were released, and I found this album, and it's a really great album. For
Opening the Vault.
Yeah, it's from a band that I don't know if you're familiar with, but they were only around for about 3 albums. So it's the band called Badlands. So.
Oh, is that John Sykes?
Well, no, I'm going to get into who's. So Jake E. Lee was with Ozzy. He was the guitarist. Then you had Ray Gillen and Eric Singer, believe it or not, who's now with Kiss. Oh. Yes. And the bassist named Greg Chason. I think that's how it's pronounced, but notable is Ray Gillen, who, let me tell you, he really belts it out. He's got a great voice. Unfortunately, we lost him in 1993 due to AIDS, But when when they were a force early on, and they were known, and they had some of their songs redone by some of the later bands, so they were definitely, I would say, for that time period, they were influential. But let's get into the songs. So, High Wire, uh, Dreams in the Dark. They had this 1.5 minute song called Jade Song. It's an instrumental. It was very good. Winter's
Oh,
Call. That's probably Winter's Call and Dancing on the Edge are probably the two best songs on the album. And Winter's Call, I mean, he is like a spitting image, sounding like David Coverdale. That great, powerful, soulful voice. Sounded great.
wow.
Yeah. Then there's a song Hard Driver, Devil Stomp, and then there was like an extra song at the end for CD and cassette, Ball and Chain. Another song I like. And if you're a man, we all have those. So
Yeah.
Chain. What else can I say about Badlands? There's like a hint of some hints of like Whitesnake and Led Zeppelin rolled into one. That
Oh,
very
wow.
hard rock metal, but very easy listening metal, I think. Uh, damn shame what might have been if they had stayed relevant, and they didn't have problems with the record company, and Gillan didn't get sick, and which led to his untimely death. So,
Yeah.
but at the time they were a force, and this is one of my albums of the year.
Yeah,
So,
I actually prefer Black Sabbath's Eternal Idol with him on vocals instead
uh,
of the other one.
Badlands. Well,
No, oh,
you got to check out Badlands. It's really good. Yeah,
yeah.
I think you'd like it. But easy listening metal, I would say. Straightforward, hard, and heavy. So, okay, Ove, you're number 3. Let's have it.
My, my favorite album of the whole year of 1989 comes also from UK. It's also their second album, and it's the guitar player that was in Napalm Death, Bill Steer, second album, and his band is called Carcass.
Okay, I think I've heard of Carcass. Yep.
Yeah, on the album is called Symphonies of Sickness.
Oh, wow.
And this album also is on Eric Records. All my 3 albums are on Eric Records.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
Yeah, I've been listening to this since I was probably 94, 95.
Okay.
And and this usually it came with like because the drummer he worked at the morgue, or so he had access to a lot of interesting pictures. So they
Oh,
would make a montage of like the human parts on their covers.
oh, wow.
Interesting enough, they are vegans.
Wow, that's
The
funny.
people, yeah.
They
But
they
that
uh
got
they
censored. It
present
got,
they
huh?
present this image of death and destruction, but yet they're vegans. That's funny.
Yeah. And so they ended up with this cover. It's I don't know it's what it's supposed to be. It kind of looks a little lame, but that's what they were given by the label.
Oh, almost looks like a side view of Mike Myers from Halloween. Yeah, I
Hmm.
see an ear there. Yeah,
That's-
right, right in the
So
middle.
this is, I would say, this is the first album got the Reek of Putrefaction. The first album got destroyed in a way because the mix and the mastering did make it very muffy and very unclear sound. It's kind of like it got really, but this one they got really good sound on, and I would say it's the start of like grindcore, making it like a
Okay.
little more challenging, a little more technical, a little more. It's just full speed ahead. It's like it got full speed ahead, but you also got a lot of parts they put in to more meat on the bone. If you That makes sense.
Oh, what about the songs?
The
Talk
song
about those?
starts off. The song starts off with the title of the first album, "Reek of Purification." Also number 2, which is their first hit, I should say, or their first breakthrough song, called "Exhume to Consume." So we are in the macabre.
Very nice.
You know, and there's some of the titles I can't really pronounce. Is
Okay.
extricating abdominal immunotation,
Oh, interesting.
raptured, raptured in the purulence. The drummer wrote the lyrics because he had a lot of medical
Oh,
expertise since he works in the morgue. So he would come in with a lot of interesting things.
right.
And then you got empathological necrotism. It's a good song, and a song that I first heard. There was a buddy of mine that had a radio channel when I grew up. It was from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock on Thursday nights. It was called Witching Hour.
Oh, okay. Yes, I've heard that expression. The witching hour. Yeah,
So, so, so when he had that show on, I would just put my cassette in my stereo and hit the 2 buttons to record.
right.
And there was the first time I heard this band. And the
Uh,
first song I ever heard is called "Embryonic Necropsy and Devourment."
Devourment. Okay. Wow.
I didn't have a clue what it meant back then, but nowadays I'm like, hey, yeah,
Okay.
it's a really good album. And then swarming vulgar mass of infected virulence, what's it called? Virulency, virulence, virulency or something.
Yeah.
Uh,
Virulence or
and
something. Yeah. Something like that.
Verulency.
What? Okay. Well, what you can do is later on, once I put this video up, you could always put those titles in the comments section.
Yeah,
So
I could do that.
yeah,
And then
you piqued my
yeah, I could
curiosity. I'm gonna want to go look that up now. So
yeah. And then you got cadaveric incubator of endo parasites,
right,
endoparasites.
right.
And they got slash dementia. I don't know what slash dementia would
I
be,
know what
but
dementia is. That's when
yeah.
when you get to a certain age and you start to lose your, well, I wouldn't say
Okay.
lose your mind, but you can't basically what, well, I mean, there's no pleasant way of saying it, but basically you lose your faculties and your ability to you know to process things, and you don't remember
Yeah.
things, and yeah,
So it sounds pretty
yeah,
rough, and it's
not
slash
pleasant.
dementia.
Yeah,
It sounds like you're killing people and you forget you did it. Slash dementia.
something
And
like
then
that. Yeah,
last song is crepitating bowel erosion.
bowel erosion. Oh, that's nasty. Woof. Wow.
Yeah, so these boys, they made lyrics that kind of shocked. Music wise, this album is, I love it so much because it's something about an album, and it's recorded right. It's recorded in a right studio for the sound and the guitar and how you perform the album, and they create an atmosphere that is just, it's just, there's albums that get it perfect, but it's like once in a blue moon.
Right. And you said they're from the UK, correct?
Yes, they're from
Okay.
the UK, from Birmingham.
Oh, oh, wow. We know we know several good bands from Birmingham, so there you go.
Yeah, Ultra True is also Birmingham, and yeah. Oh,
Okay.
this is so. I'm interesting to hear what you think of this album, because
Okay.
you have a little wider range when it comes to music than me. So I'm interesting to hear your thoughts
Okay.
about it, because you have always interesting and kind of like a fresh point of view of things when you tell me about the albums I like.
Okay. I'll check it out. I definitely will. All right. So on to my last one, and a funny story about this last band. So back in, so my daughter was born in 1991. And I remember that year because, so she was born in May. In the month of August, I went to go see this concert up in Orange County, right near where Stephen Keeler actually has his store. And he does a lot
nice.
at the Orange County Fairgrounds and Speedway. But I saw a
Yep.
concert there called Operation Rock and Roll. So on the bill, headlining was Judas Priest, Alice Cooper. Motorhead was supposed to be there, but they had to pull out because Lemmy broke his leg. And then there were two other bands, Metal Church, and this band that I'm going to pull up right now. Let's find them. Band called Dangerous Toys.
Wow.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to see either Metal Church or Dangerous Toys. I was a young father. I had some responsibilities. I couldn't get out of work early. So got home, did what I had to do. And there goes Miley. Hopefully nobody hears her. That means my wife is home. But so anyway, so then I think it was like from where I was living at the time, I was living in the Hudson Valley. Took me about half an hour, 45 minutes to get there. So by the time I got there, I was able to see the full sets of Alice Cooper and Judas Priest, and that was it. But it was basically the last tour before Rob Halford left because of some band friction and things he wanted to do on his own. But I digress. So anyway, Dangerous Toys. So they're from Texas, and from Dangerous Toys, I get a bit of a heavy bluesy, early Aerosmith / Texas vibe from them. But
nice.
They also kind of like Badlands. They're like very much on the edge of hair metal, which was kind of dying. It's getting a little heavier at that time. So let's talk about the songs. So you have Teasin' Pleasin', which is great. Probably their best song on the album, Scared. Bones in the Gutter, Feels Like a Hammer. And then this is a funny title, Sportin' a Woody. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Sportin' a Woody. So then another great song, Queen of the Nile, Here Comes Trouble, 10 Boot Stompin', and That Dog, which you just heard my dog. But again, they're so if you look at a picture of the band, they kind of like a cross between hair metal and what the hell's his name of Guns N' Roses, Axl Rose might look like, with kind of like the more grungy look.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So they're kind of, without even thinking about it, they're starting to sport a more grungy look. And, meanwhile, they had nothing to do with the Seattle scene at the time. So that's Dangerous Toys. And that's
I left all the thrash metal alone because I know that you maybe you like death metal, but death metal is not your main cup of tea.
Not my strong suit. Yeah.
So that's why I left. I left because I got 1 out of 3 I got right, because I assumed you're going to take Testament with Practice What You Preach, Metal Church, and the last one was, what was the last one? Overkill with the Years of Decay.
Oh, Overkill. Yeah, I couldn't really get into Overkill, though I did try. I did listen to the Testament and the Overkill, but I like these better. Just to be honest.
Fair case.
Yeah. And, and I did go into all these albums with an open mind, and certain years I listened to more albums than others to try and formulate my list. And I did listen to a bunch. Let's see if I listed, I don't have it. Okay. No, I didn't keep a list for that month, but there were other months where I listed out, what I listened to that I tried to get into my top, but didn't make it. So
I was going to bring one more. I was going to pull example, with one of you, like you did, like 4 albums, but I couldn't find it. But
Uh-huh.
because I've discovered that on all the channels that you are connected with, that we talk about, industrial metal never gets talked about or mentioned, but it
Right.
doesn't get any focus. And there is also a band from Eric Records with the former singer in Napalm Death 2, from Napalm Death, and he had started his own project with the bass player from the first album, and they were called God Flesh, and they
God,
had an album, breakthrough album, second album in '89 too, called Street Cleaner.
it's Street Cleaner. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, there's a really good song there, like Rats.
Hmm.
They are more society driven. They are more yeah, I guess industrial metal. They
Right.
focus on social
Focus
stuff.
on
So
the news of the day and things that are going
yeah,
on. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
That's a fair statement.
And they got. Have you seen a movie by? Oh, I can't remember his name now, but the movie is called Altered States,
I've heard of it. I don't think I've seen it. No.
because the front cover of that album is from the movie Altered States.
Uh-huh.
So it's a good album. I've listened to Godflesh. They have changed a little over the years. He has also a side project called Yesu,
Uh-huh.
which is kind of like a shoegaze, kind of like very atmospheric.
Uh-huh.
He had a
Oh,
breakdown,
okay.
and he
So uh so it was it William Hurt and Drew Barrymore of all people. William Hurt
yeah
was the person who started it, but Drew
yeah
Barrymore, that surprises me because so her show is on every morning at 9 a.m. here in the States, and I can't stand it. I have to turn it off. So
Oh wow.
my wife usually has the news on in the morning, then she goes to work and the TV's on, and right before I turn it off, here she is with her variety show, but I can't stand it. So I turn it off. It's surprised to see her in what they're calling a science fiction body horror film. But
Well, she couldn't be very old because I think the movie is from 1980 or something.
right, yeah, 1980 release date, yeah. Oh, so she was a little kid then. She like when she was in ET, but she played a more, a cuter
Yeah,
little figure. Yeah.
it's an interesting movie for sure. It's Altered States. It's very like it's. I haven't seen too many movies in that type of featuring, especially from that time. It's very experimental. So it's I feel it's like either you like it a lot or you find it awful. I don't think there is any in between there, because it's kind of a new wave kind of movie, if
Right.
that's the right expression.
Okay. Makes sense. I'll have to check it out. But in any event, so I thank you very much, Ove, for sharing your albums of 1989. Gave
It's a
everybody
true
mine.
pleasure.
What's that?
It's a true pleasure, because this is favorite albums that I've lived with for 30 years
Yeah.
plus. So this is, yeah.
Okay. Very cool. And I won't say what year, but we will be having Ove back to do a few more of these, probably in the mid 90s. I won't say specifically which year, but you'll know when you see it.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll be out there in the coming weeks. So thank you once again, Ove. Thank you to the
Thank you so much
audience.
for
And
letting me attend your show.
okay, and like I tell everybody, thank you so much for watching and participating. I love the audience participation in the comment section, so keep them coming. It's it's what I strive to do. So thank you so much. And
It's been really fun to read because it's
yeah.
a great variety, I've
Oh, without
noticed.
a doubt. Yeah. But it also gives me validation when some people agree with my picks and
Of
say what
course.
the best albums were. But all right. So have a good one, everybody. And we'll see you at the next one. Have a good night, Ove.
Good night, Jack.
All right.